Think about the last time someone criticized you. It could have been at work, at home, on social media, anywhere. Now tell me, what did you do? If you spent hours ruminating afterward, if you felt that almost irresistible need to explain yourself, to defend yourself, to prove the other person wrong, then you are making one of the most silent and costly emotional mistakes that exists. And the worst part is that this mistake doesn't look like a mistake. It looks like maturity. It looks like self-awareness. It even looks like humility, but it isn't. There is a principle that separates those who grow under pressure from those who crumble beneath it, and it has everything to do with what you do in the first few seconds after receiving criticism. Most people learn that reacting emotionally is a sign of weakness, so they learn to suppress, to swallow it, to pretend everything is fine. But suppression is not emotional mastery. It is just a more sophisticated form of losing control. Because what you don't process internally, you will express externally in some way. In the tone of your voice, in your body language, in the words you choose, in the heavy silence. And people notice all of it. They feel it before they even understand it rationally. So what is the mistake? The mistake is confusing reaction with response. When you react to criticism, you are operating from your threat system. The brain interprets that judgment as a real danger, and you enter a defensive state. From that point on, everything you do, no matter how composed it looks on the outside, will carry the energy of self-preservation. And people feel that energy. They sense that you are afraid. And fear, disguised as rational argument, is perhaps the most weakening thing a leader can display. There is a passage in Scripture that holds extraordinary psychological wisdom. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28, it is written, "Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control." That image is perfect. A city without walls is not destroyed from the outside, it is invaded. And when you lose emotional control in the face of criticism, you are not simply reacting poorly. You are allowing something external to define what you are on the inside. You are letting another person's judgment occupy your center. Here is the shift that few people ever see. Emotional mastery is not the absence of emotion. It is the ability to feel fully without being swept away. It is you observing your own internal activation with the curiosity of someone who is learning, not the desperation of someone being destroyed. When you can do that, something changes in your presence. You begin to radiate a calm that is not passivity, it is power. It is the difference between a rock that holds against the current and a leaf that is carried by it. Think of a leader you truly respect. It is probably not someone who was never criticized. It is someone who, when criticized, does not fall apart, does not compulsively justify themselves, does not attack. They listen, they consider, they respond from a place of integrity, not insecurity. That is not the absence of feeling, it is the presence of character.
Jesus demonstrated this in a way that modern psychologists call differentiation of self. When the Pharisees tried to provoke him, to test him, to publicly destabilize him, he did not engage in their emotional game. Not because he was indifferent, but because his sense of identity did not depend on their approval or rejection. His definition of himself came from within, and that is precisely what emotional maturity produces, an internal anchor that no external criticism can break. Have you ever wondered why certain criticisms affect you more than others? The answer might make you a little uncomfortable, because somewhere inside you, on some level, you still believe them. The criticisms that hurt the most are the ones that touch a wound that is not yet healed, an insecurity that has not yet been named. So when someone points in that direction, what feels like an external attack is actually an internal mirror. And your reaction is not against that person, it is against what you have not yet resolved within yourself. This does not mean every criticism is true. It means every criticism is an opportunity for self-knowledge. The mature person uses that. The immature person runs from it. The next time criticism lands on you, before anything else, pause. Not out of resignation, not out of cowardice, but out of sovereignty. Observe what is happening inside you without immediately acting from that place. Let the silence work, let clarity surface, and then, from that deeper place, respond. Do not react. That pause of a few seconds is where character is built. It is where real leadership begins. It is where you stop being a city without walls. If something in this video touched you in a way you were still processing, that is a good sign. It means there was recognition, and recognition is always the first step of genuine transformation. Share this with someone who is on the same journey of growth. Jesus